Just how many years has it been since we last saw her on The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air? 28 years. She's all grown up now, and she has the life of a black Hollywood star with a twist. Tatyana was born on January 24, 1979, in North Belmore, New York. She grew up in a family that valued education and the arts. Her parents, Sheriff and Sonia Ali, have backgrounds in sociology and nursing, respectively. Her father, originally from Trinidad, was a retired police officer. Although she was born in New York, her parents decided to move to Brentwood, LA a while after she was born. This would turn out to give them a lot of opportunities to put Tatyana into the show business industry at a young age. Her first TV appearance was when she was 6 years old, when she successfully auditioned for a Jell-O commercial. Soon after, she made her first film appearance in the 1988 film Crocodile Dundee 2. Her parents then helped her audition for the PBS show Sesame Street, after she begged for a chance for weeks. She became a regular actor on the show and made a few appearances on other shows as a singer. In 1990, Tatyana landed her breakout role as Ashley Banks, the youngest daughter of the Banks family, on the hit NBC sitcom The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. With Will Smith on the project, the show became a 90s cultural phenomenon, and Ashley was subsequently catapulted into stardom. Because the character was closest with Will Smith and they had a shared love for music and having fun, her character became more endeared to audiences. At the start of the seasons, she plays a character that sees Will Smith's character as relief from the more serious male role models in her life. Will has an influence on Ashley and her behavior as she rebels more and more as the show goes on. In later seasons, she starts to rebel less as Will begins to take on a more responsible role himself. In the same way that Ashley debuts her singing career on the show, Tatyana was simultaneously trying her hand at the music industry, and they ultimately achieved a similar fate. But we'll talk about that later. Right now, let's discuss how Tatyana's personal style affected the way Ashley Banks dressed on the show. Although wardrobe and costume had a lot of influence on it, Tatyana played a pretty heavy hand in the fashion of Ashley Banks, at times having an unprecedented amount of control over it as a child actor. According to Refinery 29, played by Afro-Panamanian actor Tatyana Ali, Banks was arguably one of her generation's IT girls, and not just because she was the sweet, cool girl in the mansion next door. Her most memorable looks certainly came from Season 6, when the character of Ashley Banks transitions into teenagehood and dresses as a self-assured young woman with an eye for fashion. Denim jeans, crop tops, the classic little black dress. Tatyana's fashion is what solidified some of the trends of 90s fashion that came right back into the fashion cycle in 2024. Acknowledge the talented black stars who built Hollywood by clicking the subscribe button and notification bell. Throughout the 6 seasons of the show, Tatyana's character evolved from a clueless child to a confident young woman, tackling issues such as family dynamics, adolescence, and identity with grace and humor. Her performance earned her critical acclaim and garnered several award nominations, including 2 NAACP Image Awards. After the conclusion of The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air in 1996, Tatyana continued to pursue acting whilst exploring her chances at a career in music. She appeared in various films and television shows, including the romantic comedy Love That Girl and the drama series The Young and the Restless. Tatyana also has a fairly successful music career, and you may have thought as much, seeing as she's been training in singing since the moment she stepped on television. So how did that turn out? She's certainly more successful than most double-threat artists who got their start on television. Her songs get their most impressive charts in the UK, where Boy You Knock Me Out charted at number 1. Her album Kiss the Sky in 1998 charted at number 6 in the UK and 106 in the US, just 6 shy spots from being in the R&B Top 100. One of the most memorable traits of the character Tatyana played on The Fresh Prince is Ashley's love for music, a quirk they probably stole from Tatyana herself. She still makes music, although she doesn't release albums quite as consistently as she used to. Her last release was the song You Can Call, which never got an official release. She got Tupac to feature on the song, and it was later decided that it didn't fit in with any of her albums, and instead got an unofficial release on YouTube from an unofficial account that isn't associated with her. So while Ashley Banks was written to have only gotten a one-hit wonder and barely sold any albums, Tatyana managed to turn that around by performing pretty well in the music industry. In addition to her work in entertainment, Tatyana is also passionate about advocacy and philanthropy. Did you know that she's a Harvard alumni? In 2002, she received a Bachelor of Arts in African American Studies and Government as a political science major. Her degree was a focus on the Department of African and African American Studies, bringing together scholars and scholarship from many disciplines to explore the histories, societies, and cultures of African and African-descended people. After 6 years of using her degree to mostly write papers and hold important conversations about the African American community, she was awarded the opportunity to act as the spokesperson for Barack Obama's 2008 presidential campaign and lead the voter registrations at college campuses across the country. She continued to campaign for him in 2012. In a BET interview, she claims that she was surprised to find that Harvard had a substantial population of students of color. You probably think Tatyana has been hiding under a rock all these years, but she is definitely still an actor and still quite active in the acting industry. However, it can be said that she's no longer in the spotlight as she used to be. Despite her long and reputable run on TV, most of her acting career has been relegated to TV Christmas movies. Nearly 50% of the movies she's acted in within the past 10 years have been holiday flicks which performed moderately on television. She's made small appearances on plenty of shows by guest starring as herself in the vast majority of them. Her acting profile since the golden age of her career hasn't been so shiny, but it is consistent and comfortable. In 2013, Tatyana returned to the spotlight with a memorable role in the romantic comedy Second Generation Wayans, playing herself in a fictionalized version of the Wayans family's lives. In recent years, Tatyana has continued to pursue diverse projects that challenge her creatively and resonate with audiences. From producing and starring in independent films to guest starring on popular television shows, she remains a dynamic presence in the entertainment industry. Tatyana Ali has an estimated net worth of over $6 million. In 2017, Tatyana put her first-ever home on the market to rent for $5,900 a month, her Studio City. It may sound expensive for a 2,108-square-foot home, as it does cost twice as much as the average home in the same general area. But could anyone pass on a chance to live in the same home that once belonged to a legend of Black Hollywood? Tatyana renovated the home and updated parts of it, including redoing all of the hardwood floors. She added stainless steel appliances to the kitchen after modernizing the building with a granite top island and a minimalist style. She also added a sub-zero wine fridge. The master suite was extended to include a huge walk-in closet and a sitting room. The home has an estimated market valuation of $1,140,000. Tatyana bought the house herself in 2013 for $950,000 and decided to rent it out instead of relinquishing her ownership of the property so she could continue to make a profit from it. According to public records, other celebrities own homes in the area as well, including George Clooney, Leonardo DiCaprio, Bruno Mars, and Julie Bowen have also owned homes in the area. Tatyana currently lives in North Belmore, New York. While she was still acting for Fresh Prince, she started dating actor Jonathan Brandis in 1995. Jonathan was a pretty prolific actor in the 90s, starring in films like IT and Sidekicks. They met in 1995, and for a while, they were one of the favorite 90s couples on the Hollywood scene. However, they broke up in 1998, with little reason being revealed to the public. Jonathan passed away at the age of 27 on the 12th of November 2003 from suicide. His father claimed a decade later that Brandis was struggling with bipolar disorder. In 2015, Tatyana Ali signed up for the online dating platform eHarmony, where she soon met Vaughn Rasberry, an associate professor of English at Stanford University. They dated for a few months, and their relationship went public in March of 2016, when she announced that they were engaged. They got married in July and have 2 children to date. Her sister's in acting. Tatyana may be the most famous, but she's certainly not the only actress in her family. Tatyana has 2 sisters, Anastasia and Kimberly. Anastasia made brief appearances in the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air and ABC after-school specials. However, her acting career never reached the same heights as her sister, and as she grew older, she decided to study the arts and return to the industry as a producer instead. As a television producer, she's worked on projects like Buppies and Love That Girl. It's now her main professional occupation, and she hasn't returned to acting since 1990, besides a few small roles in the 2000s, with most of them being without lines. Kimberly appeared in The Nanny, The Royal Family, and Ricochet. She sees acting as more of a side quest to her main career. She has less of a public presence and keeps her life more private than even Tatyana does. The sisters collaborate on music projects and charity events sometimes. Click on this next video and get lost in the life of another Black Hollywood star lost from the golden age of media. Have you seen any of Tatyana's Christmas movies?